welcome to Fujitsu World Tour London 2018, where we're back at the O2 Intercontinental Hotel. We've got technologists through all of Europe gathering to get the latest insight from Fujitsu. As is usually the case, we're going to be broadcasting live on Facebook. If you're a technologist, for example, a C-suite within transport, all you need to do is go and seek out our Facebook Live on transport, and hopefully we'll be furnishing you with some information which will address challenges your boardroom are facing right now. First up, a man who leads little introduction, Mr. James Maynard. You're the Director of Global IT and Innovation at Fujitsu. We've spoken many times in the past year across Europe. We know boardrooms right now have got their heads around the sort of data challenge. How do we collect data? What do we collect data from? How do we use that to inform business decisions? What we've not really got into is the security side of it. In an always connected world, just how significant is that security challenge right now for boardrooms?
I think it's really significant. I think also the security part of any conversation at the moment is there's almost, to a degree, there's a slight assumption that the technology suppliers are beginning to pick this up and are understanding it, but it is a continual challenge. And boardrooms need to be very aware of all of the things that they're putting into their business, and specifically the pieces we talked around when we look at data. It's about where that data is collected, how it's stored, where it's used, who has access to it, what country is that access allowed from, etc. And I think really now, boardrooms have got to concentrate far more on what's happening from a security perspective, and it should be on top of the agenda and things they're looking at, especially as part of their digital transformation journey.
Do you think it is on the agenda at the moment? Do you think when they're gathering tomorrow, if they're pulling out one or two key points from World Tour, do you think they would be looking at the security challenge? I
think much like we talked about previously around digital transformation, and actually there's some organisations understand it and get it, and at a management level that they're really driving a digital agenda. Within the same sector, you can have other organisations that really haven't. And I think depending on the level of maturity that organisation has from its kind of whole journey that it's on, will identify and will show how far security is up on the agenda. I think more and more organisations are aware of it through the publicity we saw around GDPR and other things, but actually we saw a real difference in the way organisations reacted, even within the same environment. Some were very reactive, but some were very proactive. And I think it will be the same from a security perspective and the way in which they're handling and using the data that they collect today.
CIOs have, as you rightly say, they've moved GDPR off their to-do list, or at least the majority of them have now. What's the next big challenge for CIOs? What are they looking at?
So I think security is definitely one of them. I think what we see today is technology moves at such a rapid pace, and being part of it all the time, it's a job to keep up with it when you're working with it every day. So I can't imagine what it's like necessarily to be in another organisation where there's so many other things happening. In today's world, there are so many changes, whether they be political or by region, that are challenging global organisations, that actually to try and keep up with technology at the same time is a real challenge. But I think what's really key is that technology enables those organisations to act more globally and to be able to do that in a more effective way. So actually, technology becomes a tool and an enabler to make that whole journey a little bit easier. But I still don't envy their task in many respects today.
And last question, people that are coming to World Tour today, there's a whole host of information they can gather, but just give us a bit of insight into what they can expect from popping along to World Tour.
So I think we obviously have the latest technology, and that technology from things that we've been showing in the past, but it's about the evolution of the journey of that technology. So it might still be about safety, but actually is it about safety and how we look after an individual's biometric data? Or is it about how that now translates into a particular vertical? So how are we now working with customers to bring that technology or that solution into a particular transportation vertical? And being able to view it in that way makes it far more tangible for a lot of our customers to see how it could be applied, because in so many instances these technologies are quite horizontal.
Okay, great. Great insight. Well, look, if you've got any questions about any of the points that James has picked up, or indeed for any of the content that's going to be published over the next day for Fujitsu World Tour London, you can reach out to us via the social channels, put a question to us, and we'll make sure the relevant guys at Fujitsu address it for you, and we'll come back to you. As I said, we're going to be publishing videos by vertical. We hope to cover the whole of your industry, but if you're retail, transport, utilities, insurance, finance, we're going to do our best to get across all of them. There should be a Facebook Live that addresses the challenges your boardroom are looking at right now. Thanks for watching.